So widgets, an integral part of the WordPress system. Understanding how they work is key to managing your website. As I talked about in the introduction video, you can have as many sidebars as you like. And a sidebar is basically a container for widgets. Okay, what is a widget? A widget is an HTML box, a logo, a back to top button. Basically, it's something with some particular functionality or something that contains certain content. A breadcrumb link trail, SEO tags. You're going to see that any one of the widgets that we've created has an Aquila logo just off to the left-hand side. So you're going to know that these ones are particular to our system. They add strength and functionality. We may include an HTML box, such as here. There might be one also included. I believe WordPress calls it text. Ours just takes it just a little bit farther. And so you can place these widgets in different regions. The top region typically would go in the top, I should say the top sidebar would go into the top region. I've just jumped over here to the home page and its layout. And the top region for the home page layout is locked, so it doesn't use the top sidebar. The header top region is unlocked, and you may specify whichever sidebar you want to go in this region. So there's a region, there's a sidebar, and the sidebar contains widgets. The header top region can have whichever sidebar you wish. But by definition, we're probably going to put the header top sidebar in the header top region. That's just how we've mapped things out. Usually we would put the widgets, as we see in the online demo, that make sense to us as far as a WordPress theme is concerned. We pre-configure those widgets, put them in the header top sidebar, and assign it to the header top region. You are not restricted to that, though. You can change that however you like. But we've gone and pre-configured it. And for most things in our WordPress theme, you can just leave this configuration as you see fit. But there is power and functionality there should you wish to change things. Going back to the widget panel page. So the top region is probably not a good example of say, something that we want to change for the home page, but the header top region is. So the phone number, you just expand. If you need help with this particular widget, you can click here. It'll take you to the video for how to configure this. But widgets are pretty straightforward. Do you want to show the phone icon? Yes. What is the phone number? Do you want to specify any particular margin around the widget? Maybe we want to specify 20 pixels. Again, this is covered in the video. You're like, I don't know what a pixel is. Don't worry about that. If you want more definition, it's in the video. And whether or not you want it justified off to the right, aligned to the right or the left, or maybe even center. And I'm just going to hit save on this and see what happens. Let's go back to our home page. That was a previous video. Should refresh the page. You're going to see that there's now 20 pixels around here. Before there wasn't. So by making a change in a widget here, we can say, hey, why don't we make it 50 pixels and make it 555, 555. Let's make it 5555. And just for demonstrations. And we hit save. And we reload our page. And we're going to see the phone number changes. And we've got a whole bunch more margin around it. It adds a little bit more space than I think probably we would want for this region. But it's for demonstration purposes, you can see how that works. Once you make a change to the widget, it will change across the entire website, wherever that particular sidebar is placed within a page. Okay. So that adds great power. You can go and change something in one place and it changes across your entire website. It can also mean that if you didn't want to change it on every page, well, that could be a bit of a problem. But generally speaking, widgets are global items. Your phone number, you're going to want to change it on all your pages. Unless, of course, you had a special phone number for your contact page, and then maybe just have it on your contact page. So That's the header top region. And as I've said, each page has different locked regions. And the reason there are locked regions is, the home page is designed to look a certain way. It's designed to have a menu up top and a contact form on the right hand side. It's designed to have a logo here, social media icons, and a search form there, as well as a slider region. However, if you wanted to have full control over all of these regions, you wanted to have a page layout that could do whatever you wanted and put whatever you wanted in the top region, whatever you wanted in the header main, whatever you wanted in the utility or the showcase. Maybe you want to turn off everything except, say, the SEO region. There is a layout for that. Let's just go and create a page and we'll see what that's all about. Just to show you that there is full control. We're going to call this advanced, and we're going to give it the advanced layout. We're just going to publish it just so that we have it there. And then we're going to see that on this layout we have full control over every region. The top, we can now say, hey, I want to place the top sidebar in the top region. I want to give it 2 columns, and again we're just going to size it there appropriately. And in the header main, I'm going to say, hey, I do want the header main here. And the header top, no, I don't want anything. And the only thing I'm going to put in here is we'll call it main content region 1. And that's where we can specify we want 2 columns, because this particular sidebar called main content area 1 contains the content region and a custom menu on the right, as well as the meta box that is default to WordPress. So we've got this page that's just going to have a top region, a header main, and a main region. We're going to hit save, and then we're going to view this page. Okay. Again, top, header top, and then content region. Oh, we don't have any content. We didn't put any content in here. Here is some content. Now, just a quick note. I'm sure I'm probably going to cover this in another video, but if you don't want comments, you can click the screen options up here and hit comments, and then down below, not comments, my mistake, discussion, and turn comments off. And comments are pretty hard to manage these days. There's a lot of spamming going on out there, and if you don't want to manage a lot of spam, sometimes you just want to turn off the comments. So let's go back, reload, and it's going to say, hey, here is some content, and we've turned off the comments below. This is exactly as we've customized it. Generally speaking, though, you would probably want to go with a one of the other layouts. The advanced is for advanced users with full control. If you want to go that route, if you had nothing selected, nothing's going to show up. It's going to be a blank page, but you can build it as you like it, and you can place whatever sidebar you want in whatever region. All of the rest of the layouts, such as the default template, which is also something that we call the minimized page, they have locked regions. Basically, we say, hey, we want the menu up top. Definitely. We want the logo here. Definitely. We want the social media icons in here. Definitely. And we want to, well, maybe we want to place something over here. Main content area 1. Again, this is how we would typically want the page set up. But we've gone and defined these layouts for you. The contact page has a special map on it. The FAQs page renders FAQs. The team members page renders team members. It's kind of like an About Us page. Sitemap has special features for the sitemap. But each one of these have locked regions. You can still go and change the unlocked regions if you want to. Again, by default, we've set up the WordPress theme how we think it should be set up for you. You're probably not going to need to tinker with the sidebar regions too much. All you're going to need to worry about is adding your content, maybe updating your search engine optimization header tags and page meta keyword data, and if you wanted to, go and change your branding or your which menu is shown up there. Maybe on one page you want to have one drop-down menu, and on another you have a different one. But by default, the configurations that we've gone and placed in here, boilerplate, should be pretty straightforward in what you want to use. Again, if you want to, the power is there where you can go and configure the different sidebars with whichever widget you want. Now, one of the things that I've briefly touched on in my introductory video was the column break widget. Now, we actually took a cue from one of our competitors. Kudos to you. Thank you very much. Who also used Bootstrap, and we were trying to figure out how would we do a WordPress theme that allowed for columns. Now, what Twitter Bootstrap does is it defines a row, just to give you an idea here. This is a row, this is a row, and columns within it. And depending upon the size of the browser, say you resize it down, each one of these rows will retain a percentage. Now, because most of us don't want to do any sort of math when it comes to managing our website, what they've done is they say, hey, this row is going to be 12 columns wide. But you can have a container in here and say, hey, of the 12, this is going to be 9 columns wide. And of the remaining, that's going to be 3. So the only math we need to be able to do is be able to count to 12. So we have 9 plus 3 equals 12. And if we were to go back to this page here, let's just go back to our home page actually. If we go back to the layout for this page, this is a 9 and this is a 3 equals 12. It's kind of hard to see that, but if we were to use the region below, you're going to see that we've got a, just off to the right hand side here, briefly shows us, this is going to show right over here 9 and 3, just like that. And so it's always going to add up to 12. If we had more columns, say we want to use 4 columns here, they all add up to be 12. So you can click and drag however you want, squish things in different configurations if you want, but it always adds up to 12. We've taken out the complexity so you don't have to worry about doing the math. We've got this slider that does it for you. But just so you know, that's what the columns are all about. Hey, we can choose up to 6 columns if you want. And with this slider, it will, divide things up appropriately. But there's this thing called, I touch on it again, the column break. Where did we go? The column break. Probably a good one to do is the main top region. So if we can see, this is in one column, and then we say, hey, start a new column. That's in the second column, start a new column. In the third column, start a new column. In the fourth column. And this can be demonstrated by saying, okay, this info box 1, info box 2, info box 3, info box 4, and in between is a column break. Am I driving this into your brain enough? Basically, if we go back to our home page, we go down to the main top. We've got 4 columns, right? Info box 1, info box 2, info box 3, info box 4. The width of the column is not defined on the widgets page. Basically, it's a delimiter that says, hey, start a new column, start a new column. That's where the page level configuration comes in. You can specify it here if you want to. And if you wanted to, we could probably go 3 columns, and then boom, one becomes a full width down below if you wanted to. But generally speaking, we would probably want to go with 4 columns here. If you wanted to, you can have something below this info box. You could have, if you wanted, I'm just trying to think what would look good down there, an HTML box. So we click and we drag, we place it over here, we say HTML box, this is my text. And we just hit save, right? And an HTML box is just a basic construct that displays a title and a piece of text. And what I'm going to do here, just to demonstrate here, let's reload this page. In this column here, because it doesn't actually draw lines, here's our HTML box. And because we did an info box one, HTML box, and then a column break, boom, a new column starts here, and the info box 2 starts over here. If we wanted to move this guy to be underneath info box 2, why don't we do that, just to give you an idea. Back to the widget page. Drag him to be underneath info box 2. It's now saved. As soon as you click and drag something, it's been moved. Let's go and load our page. We reload, it's now going to show up here, just like that. So it gives you a lot of control over where you want your different widgets. It's placed into columns, into a bit of a grid. This particular WordPress theme is called Fortis. It's using Bootstrap 2.3. In some of our later versions, which use Bootstrap 3, we even define how things look down on a mobile level, whether or not you want certain things defined or not. However, this is how you go and change the widgets and where they're placed within each of the sidebars. And there's one other region that looks very much like this, and that's the footer region. And generally that's used on most pages, but you don't have to. We'll just go back to here. We're going to see that again. This is defined into 3 columns. And again, we have an HTML box here and social media icons below that. Let's go take a look at that page once more. Would you have thought that this was 2 separate widgets? No. This is just an HTML box, just like here, except we've decided to put a little icon there. Piece of text, we've told it to center, and then below that we've put the social media icon widget, and it just looks like it fits. And this is how you can, if you really want to get creative with your WordPress theme, you can move things around, place them in different places, stack them on top of one another if you want. But as I've been saying throughout my videos, you don't need to. The complexity is there if you want to dig down. The power is there if you want to dig down. The default configuration, as we've set it up for you, which should look just like the online demo, is perfect for most people. And all you have to worry about is modifying your content, modifying the text that is within the widgets already, within the widget area. For example, in the footer region, the HTML box, let's get social, maybe change some of the text in here. In the info box 1, we would probably want to say, hey, why don't we link to a different website? Right now we're not linking to anything. Maybe we want to give it a different title up at the top, maybe some different description. So how we have things set up already is probably an adequate setup for you. If you want to go and tweak things, by all means, go and change the widgets. But really where we think that you should concentrate on is just configuring the widgets, the text within them, the images that are configured, and the content within the pages. Perhaps even just changing the images in the sliders. Again, we'll go through that in another video. But as it is, the configuration should be adequate. But if you want to, there is some more functionality and some more power for configuring your layouts. Anyways, I hope that makes sense.